This is Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan today. Home to roughly 1 million people, it's among the world's cities with the worst air pollution. A dry continental climate, weak and rare winds in the Chu Valley leads to air stagnation. The city overheats during the hot summer months, and in the winter it is filled with smoke from numerous smokestacks. The city of Bishkek was founded in 1825, and thanks to titanic human efforts, a century later became one of the greenest in the region. Alexei Fetisov, the gardener who created the climate protection of the city Elm Grove.
Карагачевая роща является зеленой печенью нашего города. Именно Карагачевая роща обеспечивает городу здоровую окружающую среду.
On the territory of the Elm Grove and its surroundings, 3 new neighborhoods were built. In order to restore the Elm Grove, the mayor's office allocated 40 hectares to the project. It is hard to imagine that only 2 centuries ago there was a dry steppe on the side of Bishkek. Only floodplain forests grew along the banks of the rivers. The city of Bishkek was founded in 1825, and thanks to titanic human efforts, a century later became one of the greenest in the region, a garden city. And Alexei Fetisov became such a gardener for our city, who created the climate protection of the city, planted along popular streets, laying down urban gardens, including Elm Grove.
Первое, что он сделал с первыми своими учениками, 15 ребят местного населения и 8 мальчишек, дети переселенцев из России, вырастил все саженцы Карагачевой рощи, будущего казенного сада парка Панфилова, бульварной нынешнего Эркиндик, дубового парка. Это все из семечек и саженцев выращено.
After Fetisov's death from cancer in 1894, his students continued the landscaping of the capital. Not by chance, the grove was planted with elm. They, more than the other species, thrived in a dry continental climate and could form a large array in close-up crowns. It was the first climatic massif in Central Asia, a biotic pump. Elm Grove until 1970 remained virtually untouched. In Soviet times, the area of one of the favorite places for recreation of citizens was 215 hectares. Since Kyrgyzstan became an independent state, the area of green oasis has decreased in 26 years by almost 60%. Now it is only 128 hectares. The territory was reduced not gradually, but in spurts.
Карагачевая роща является зеленой печенью нашего города. Именно Карагачевая роща обеспечивает городу здоровую окружающую среду. И мы видим, это печень становится все меньше.
On the territory of the Elm Grove and its surroundings, 3 new neighborhoods were built. In addition to problems with groundwater, the existing infrastructure for the residents is clearly not enough. The residents bought the land without proper planning.
Если вот это исчезнет, от этого никто не выиграет, ни тот, кто на дрова это срубил, ни власти наши не выиграют от этого ничего. Ухудшится просто ситуация в плане здоровья нации. Сейчас идет рост онкологических заболеваний очень сильно, потому что огромное количество транспорта стало, плюс люди в стрессе живут. Но эти же люди после себя-то должны оставить тоже новое поколение. А если ты болен, твоя супруга больна, какой шанс, что ты оставишь здоровых детей?
Часто мы здесь гуляем с дочкой, с семьей, приходим в свободное время. А для них тоже важно изучать природу. Она в основном просит на улицу, ешке барабыз, токойга барабыз. Ну, мы называем здесь парк, не парк, а тупой. Стараемся почаще приходить, потому что у нас прогулка очень важна для семьи, чтобы развивался, активно бегал для ребенка, как бы это важно.
Approximately 12 or 13 years ago, me and my friend Philippe Boiseau started to think about of improving the ecological situation in Bishkek, of protecting green spaces in our city. And later, when I came back to Kyrgyzstan, I started to promote this project while occupying different positions in the public sector. And after I moved to the private sector, to AUCA, I continued to promote the idea of this eco-park, ecological parks in the Elm Forest. Despite different obstacles we encountered during the development of the project, we passed to the implementation phase. It was approximately in 2018. And since then, we are implementing successfully the project in cooperation with the City Hall of Bishkek. And for AUCA, as you know, we focus not only on teaching, not only on research, but also on using our knowledge, our potential, our energy, our time to help local communities.
A joint project to create an eco-park on the territory of the Elm Grove was developed by the Kyrgyz-French Ecotourism Association and the American University in Central Asia. In order to restore the Elm Grove, the mayor's office allocated 40 hectares to the project.
At the beginning, it was quite complicated because, in fact, there were a problem also with the border of the park. Because as people built their houses inside the territory, we should find the correct way to protect the park, to fence it. And we discussed with each family, one by one, so it took several months to fence all the territory. But we find some solutions each time. Some of these people have some, I can say, in a political way, some interest not to protect the territory of the park. But we find some compromise, and step by step now the project is accepted by most of the population around the park. We develop also cooperation with local authorities, especially the Sverdlovsky district of the city of Bishkek. And we have a good social impact now because we organize visits for students, not only for AUCA students and TSI students, but also for other universities and schools in Bishkek. So we try to make aware all the young generation about environmental issues, about why it is important to protect such green space. And from the beginning of the project, I think we plant around 1,000 trees in 3 years. So, and more, every year we plant more and more trees. So it's a good thing. And last year we started to create a tree conservatory. And we planted 7 species of trees endangered in all Kyrgyzstan. So people now can see in the park some very rare trees. And for biodiversity maintenance is very important. We also implemented a lot of equipments like benches, dustbins, some bird cages also to protect some local birds. For turtles also we have a special place for them because we can find local species endangered also of tortoise. And what else, a lot of cameras also to monitor this area and protect it. So, and in the future we'll have more also other projects to develop this environmental education part.
The Kumaic project was recently created by Brigitte Bardot Foundation, French Kyrgyz Association of Tourism, with the partnership of Manas University and AUCA. Aim of that is to sterilize street dogs and to manage them, to avoid conflicts between wild birds that is living in the territory of Eco Park. We already done about 100 surgeries for 100 dogs, And this is not our limit. The important thing is to involve the villagers of the eco-park territory to see what's happening with the stray dogs, because stray dogs are their dogs and they are responsible for these dogs. And now we are also working with these people to see how they impact on everything, and maybe if they want to help or contribute something, they can easily do it with us, and we are open for communication to everyone.
I see a really bright future for the Elm Park with all of the efforts that we are doing now, and if we continue doing them and taking more people into it, I hope that we will have a lot more introduced endangered species to the park, a lot more animals and a lot more people who will be concerned about the problem. And if we will have an opportunity and if we will have a lot of the strength and the people who will help us, I hope we will be able to preserve much more of the territory than we are doing it now. And I do believe that the future of the Elm Park is going to be bright.
The Eco Park project continues to become an educational environmental center for the study of the ecosystems of the animal and plant worlds of the elm grove.